What's going on, y'all? This is the Anger Management Podcast. We are here to try to help individuals who might be going through some things with their mental health. This is a mental health podcast, but to give you some enlightening reference to just men and women in general who might be going through mental stress in their life and they need some help. Okay. First two episodes, I pretty much talked about what I was going through. And then the second podcast, I had the Fabler on talking about the VA, but I got my brother on with me this time because this is the individual who I talk to and I share personal stuff with, and I know that it's really not going to go nowhere. So, brother,
Hi, I'm comedian Big Chip. Um, this is an interesting topic because it do happen. It do happen. So I'm so glad that he's not only put me on the show, but he going through it and that he know he's not alone. Like,
I think that's the biggest part about it because at first I thought I was because I really how long did it take for you and I to become close friends? Like it took a while before I got
yeah,
close to anybody. And when it all boils down, it was like, man, Chip is a cool dude. Maybe I should like really reach out to him.
yeah. It's I would say like you have to figure a person out like before you go deeper with a person. You have to figure out like to me when you make a person mad, then you know where you stand with them from. Because when they mad, they would tell everything you told them, and you would want to see that. So with this here, like with our relationship is uh dynamic because we talk to each other and we understand as men like hey we go through stuff and as men you should have someone to talk to have a community for whatever you're trying to do to talk to a person like several years ago I had a stroke and I talked but I didn't open up to nobody and I'm not going to say pause because I'm not thinking that way. Pause. No, I'm just playing. But you will want somebody with you, like
Just to go through the journey with.
just to go through it, because as I was young, I just hold so much inside that I was battling with. So it's a lot of stuff that I do know how to go through it with you with because that's how I was raised, and I know a lot of symptoms of it, and I can understand like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand that. There. But as men, like sometimes we need a hug. Sometimes we need to for somebody to say, "Hey, brother, I love you. It'll be all right." We need that.
And not in no like homosexual or gay way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A lot of men don't speak to one another in that aspect because they want to keep their masculinity or whatever. But no, bro, you should have genuine love for your brother,
hmm
and that's what it is. It's like you care for that individual's well being, and it took me some time to find individuals that would do that, but I kind of took to you because the fact that you even when I was going through my things, I would tell you stuff and it never got out. It never went nowhere. And it was like, okay, well, I can trust that whatever I let you know about, it's going to stay with you. You know what I mean? So I felt honestly, dog, you was like a safe space for me to be able to vent sometimes. But that was honestly, we've been friends for a while.
yeah,
But I still didn't go to you with like really personal stuff until like recently. But given it, I just appreciate the fact that you was there and able to listen. But I use you honestly as an accountability person because you don't just tell me what I want to hear. You would even let me know, but like, dog, no, you messed up. You should figure out how to fix that. That all of that's on you. You know what I mean? And I needed that particular type of accountability because yeah, everything that has happened to me is not
mm,
everyone else's fault.
yeah. And
So
you only can change yourself. You can't change the situation. You can't change. Only all you can do is work on yourself. And um, a lot of people got fake friendships. Not all everybody genuine. A lot of people be your friends just to say they're your friends, but
or just
it's
to
deeper than that. It's a friendship deeper.
it
And
I've noticed that if an individual can't get what they want out of you, they'll call you a friend until you're no longer useful.
yeah,
And that's where I kind of like draw the line. If you're not in it, like like in it with me, like right then and there, you're just
yeah,
gonna bounce because all the circumstances really don't fit anymore. Then I don't know if I really want to kind of work out things as a friend with you. You know what I mean?
yeah. You always wanted that friend. You always wanted that friend to not just agree with you, just to hold you accountability for it. To let you know hey, you wrong, you wrong. Because I've been all my life, I had people tell me, "Oh yeah, you right, you right, you right," and they kind of cripple you because in your mind, you gonna think that you right
And you're gonna think you're right all the
all
time,
the time.
like you can never be wrong. You
Yeah,
know?
and then what I'm getting you, I didn't have that necessarily. Like from my grandma and mama, yeah, but I didn't have nobody to really go to and be like, hey, such and such, I went through it. So I bottled it up inside. And that's the whole point. Like,
But that was like during your younger years, right? Because
yeah, during my younger years.
I kind of can relate to you there because I was having a conversation and I was talking about my upbringing. And that wasn't a bad upbringing. You
Hmm.
know, it was just me, my sister, my grandmother, and my mom. But we moved so much that I was okay with being alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I make friends here, but then after a year or two, we leave. I try to keep those friendships, but kids are kids. You don't keep in contact with people through the phone and see what's up. You know what I mean? So I ended up moving so much to where I wasn't able to hold on to any kind of long term friends throughout my childhood until I was like in high school. But then even in high school, I only talked to those individuals during the school year. Once summertime came, I was alone again. So if I'm talking about things that I want to speak to about, yeah, I miss my dad. I wish my dad was around. You know what I mean? Or damn, we going through an eviction. We out on the street. Why couldn't you know what I'm saying? Why are things like this happening? And I have no one to reach out to, and I don't trust anybody that I can tell this stuff to without them cracking jokes or ranking on me and stuff.
And throwing it back in your face.
Yeah.
I had one best friend and he got killed. I wasn't able to go to his funeral because he was staying with his auntie. I think his mama had passed, but he was staying with his auntie and uncle. And somehow they said it was my fault. Um, and that's what I had to deal with. So I bottled that and I took that to heart. I was like, oh, shoot, it's my fault. It is. And it wasn't my fault, but that's just how I took it. You know what I'm saying? So I try and be there for people that want me to be there. Like, I don't, like, it's situations, it's gonna be situations, but I'm not the type. Whether I get mad at you, whether I don't talk to you, whether a lot of stuff, I'm not gonna say nothing because it's between me and you. And I want to see you succeed, and I want you to be everything you accomplish and set out to be. And I think this is um, with anger management, like a lot of things tie into anger management because it can come from grief, it can come from childhood, it can come from how people were treating you. It's a lot of stuff going to anger management. So I think it's this is like a perfect situation for you because now oh, I do got anger in it. I got anger in it issues.
Mhm.
So now you can do something about it. And not only that, you can talk about it on stage. Like this is your life. Can't nobody take that away from you with comedy or whatever, because this is what you've been through. Y'all might can relate, but I'm talking about me.
Yeah, and I want my story to be used and for people to understand like there are people going through the same thing that you're going through. Now for me,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that that I didn't ask for help or I didn't reach out because I felt as a man I need to figure this stuff out. So, but that's no fault of anyone around me. That's the fact that if I felt like if I might have had a father figure that I could go to and be like, well, listen, I need somebody to talk to, or just learn how to work my emotions that way, then I probably would have been a better man in the beginning of these trials that I'm going through. But one thing I do know is that I am aware of it now. With individuals like you and my sister, I point that out because you all were the ones that was like, no, Leroy, you really have an issue. Granted, now I did was like, no, I ain't not, I kept saying there was nothing wrong with me. I'm okay the
Yeah.
way I am. That was the thing. But when your closest friends and family they start coming to you and be like, well, Leroy, what's wrong? Why are you doing this? Why is this way? I was
Mm.
I was slowly coming around until maybe what this year at the beginning of this year is when it all came around full circle. Like I said in the previous podcast, I was going the stress that my wife and stuff was going through with her place of employment, finding out that my dad had dementia, finding out that one of my aunts passed, and then 2 days later another one of my aunts passed, and then I find out that my health is not at the best it could be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff just started just compiling and just stacking on top. And I'm trying to do things the way I was doing it previously, and it was not working.
Yeah.
So luckily, I was like, well, damn, maybe I do need some help. Maybe I do need to work on some things, you know? So that,
Well, it makes you feel a whole lot better when you can talk about it because you done had it in you so long that you got comfortable with the situation. So you wasn't looking at like, oh no, I don't need no help. You know what I'm saying? Well,
mhm,
that's the way you was looking at it. Like I don't need no help because you had got comfortable with it.
right.
So once people start telling you and people you know that care about you and take accountability and hold you accountability for it, you be like, oh, okay, yeah, I need help. I need help. You said to me one time, you said a father with kids was walking his kids. A father and his kids were walking, and you were finna leave, but son told you to go up to him and and what did you say?
Oh, yeah. I had just done, what was I think they was doing? They was trying to get individuals to vote, and I did a set for them on short notice. Jen had got me there, and thank you, Jen, for helping me also get gigs and stuff like that. But that's our sister in comedy and
Oh
a
yeah.
real close friend of mine as well. And I done my set, spoke to individuals, but then I was prepared to leave. And when I was getting ready to go, there was a father that was walking with his three kids. It was just him and his three kids. And I was just gonna keep going because I'm not about to bother another man that's walking with
Mm-hmm.
his kids. You know what I mean? But something told me to just let the brother know, listen, you're doing a good job. You know what I mean? I know that we get a bad rap as fathers of not being there because that's what society puts on us. But I just want to let you know, brother, you're doing a good job. And just me seeing you, I appreciate you and keep moving and keep going forward. Honestly, I know he probably was like, thank you for telling me that, stranger. But I think that
Help,
really helped me out for the most part.
it helped both of y'all out because you got out your comfort zone and he needed that. So it kind of went hand in hand because you might have saved him, you might have prevented him from committing suicide.
Right.
You don't know that, but that's how you plant seeds. Like you might don't get a chance to water the seeds, but you got to plant it. And that's how we work. That's how we is. Because as a man, like the only time we do get flowers is when we die. If you really want to look at it that way, because it's rarely that a woman, hey baby, here goes some flowers. No, we get flowers when we die. We got the weight on our shoulder, and not against there's nothing against women, but we built for it. But you gotta admit, like, you can't hold it in as you'll blow up on the wrong people. That's just
Yeah.
like staying on the job. Yeah, it can cause cancer because you know why? Bitterness causes cancer. and you can be better on the job and bring it home and don't even know it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I know that there was a situation with me and Nana when she was younger, though. And during this time, I always say I was, I know now that I was a father who was there. And I think that me and my daughter had a good relationship uh, up until the point to where up until a certain point, but I was always kind of militant with her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my regrets that I do have is like, okay, I wish I was more compassionate and more softer with her, so that way she doesn't grow up hard. You know what I mean? But I always felt like, no, I got to prepare her for the world because one, you don't have any siblings. You got cousins, but you don't have any siblings. You are a black girl
Mm-hmm.
and you're petite. At this time, she was petite. So I had to kind of prepare. Listen, kids, going to be ruthless. You're going to have to do some things that you don't really want to do, but you're going to have to do it just to protect yourself. You know what I mean? And I kind of instilled that in her at a young age. But I also think I instilled too much fear in me where she
Mm.
couldn't really comfortably come to me as her
Yes.
father. And that's one of like my biggest regrets is like I really can't have a do-over with
Yeah.
her, but what I can do is that because
If
when she even when she was a baby, an infant, I was still kind of militant. I didn't have that
Mhm.
compassion for her the way I wish I did. Now I loved her. I love her. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
always want what's best for her, but I wish I would have cherished those moments when she was younger more. Sometimes I wish I had a do over with another kid. You know what I mean?
Well, you build from it. Like ain't nothing you can do from how you raised them, but you can like do stuff to make memories as of today. Like you, whatever you install, you can get a confidence by it. You can get anything by it that was because you're breathing and she's breathing. So you can get everything back and she can come to you because she gonna always be daddy's girl. That's how they. That's what they say. Like you always be daddy's girl, but you want her to confide in you if she going through something because ain't nothing like your daughter, son, or your kids or whatever. They be like, nah, I ain't gonna talk to you because as well, when I was growing up, I know my mama and grandma loved me, but I didn't want that type of love from them. I wanted the love that the streets was giving me. So that's what I chased. But then I realized, like, you know what, you better, hey, cherish this love here or whatever. It's never too late. So to me, I would say it's never too late for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I think recently, um, because I didn't know how to handle the frustrations I was going through at the beginning of the year. Um, and okay, so let me clarify this. I never put my hand on my wife, or I never put my hands on my daughter outside of spankings when she was younger. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, but uh, going through what I was going through at the beginning of the year and the frustrations of trying to work things out and figure it out, I kind of closed myself off to try to figure things out.
Isolated.
But yep, I isolated myself, and um, certain things kind of just like set me off. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm aware of those things, I make it my duty to kind of do a 180, not to do those things anymore, move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was a situation that took place where I just got too angry with Nana, and it kind of changed the dynamics of our relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really want to work on. So I kind of now when I feel myself getting frustrated or I get that anxiety feeling, heart beating fast, sweats and stuff like that, I kind of let them know in advance. Be like, listen, I'm going through this right now. I just need some air. I need somebody to talk to. Here's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like so far it's been
Yeah.
a lot easier for me to kind of walk this walk now. Now things aren't going to be the same, but I'm trying to at least repair those relationships, especially with my daughter, to let her know, listen, I I'm not going to do that again. But I
Mm-hmm.
am going to be more verbal and communicative with you so that way you understand where I'm coming from and that way you can know what to do. But I'm not going to be raw, I'm going to be more monotone, try to take the feeling and emotion out of it, but I still want you to kind of receive the message. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah. Talk to him one on one. Like, if you was daddy daughter date night or whatever, like, don't stop doing what you was doing. You know, if I'm quite sure that's important. So you build a relationship off that. Like, you don't have to start over. You just do stuff for that. Like, you start from ain't nothing you can do, and don't let nobody throw nothing up in your face about no past or whatever, whatever. It was that. I did do that. You suffer enough through yourself for them just to bring it up. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's like I'm beating myself down because
yeah,
I
you
kind of,
already beating yourself
yeah,
down.
I regret doing it, you know?
Hmm.
I regret doing a lot of things, you know?
Yeah,
So,
and that's called life. That's called life. Ain't nobody. We try and be the perfect imperfect person as we can. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, anything could be worse. You know what I'm saying? You could have been at a point where you're not ain't much able to repair your relationship. You know, and by the time you going through all this here, you taking anger management classes and all. Guess what? That's your steps you have to take. So if somebody seeing you taking steps, they gonna be better. They gonna be better.
you touch the back of your mic, see if it changed. Talk again.
Talk again.
Or maybe talk a little closer to the mic.
Talk a little closer. What about now?
It's still coming through one ear. I just want to make sure it come through another ear. Um,
Cause I got two ears.
no, just maybe talk a little louder in it.
Hey.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Oh.
See how I go
Oh.
out.
Oh. What?
Take the piece out and put it back in. I can cut all of this out in post, so you ain't got to. You know how to take it out.
Nope.
Just take it in.
It's a clip though. Take the clip out. What about? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. There's something up with a couple of these mics. I might have to take one out. But yeah. So now, as far as your personal walk, I kind of feel not responsible. I feel bad that I didn't reach out to you as early as I could because I really wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, Chip doing the podcast and everything like that, and we cool. But I wasn't sure if it was, you know what I'm saying, if I had that okay to come in and be like, yeah, listen, let me go ahead and at least reach out to make sure everything, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure that you was okay. But I didn't know if I had that, if we had that particular type of relationship to be able to discuss what you was going through. So I'm like,
Yeah.
typically I just leave
Yeah.
a man to go ahead and at least get well, get yourself together. If you need me, I'm here for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But I didn't take nothing hard because I knew you mean whatever you did. I know you meant well. Whether you were ranking and talking, like I appreciate that because I was going through that and I didn't want nobody to feel sorry for me because that would have made me upset. Be like, "Oh, why are you feeling sorry? Just do what you do." But I couldn't come to the show. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, no, you supposed to carry on. You supposed to carry on. That don't mean, oh yeah, you don't mess with Chip, boy. You didn't. No, I didn't take it like that. I just take it as, oh yeah, I'm glad my brother going on with his show or whatever. I'll be in the comments. I might type something or whatever. But no, I don't never take it to heart.
I think it'd be the small things. I would always say it was like, well, even though Chip is not here at the show, but we do care, so no one is going to ever take Chip's place. So you always got the Signal 27 show to come home to when you get back on your feet. We're going to be here. As long as I'm able to run the show, you always have a chair on the show.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, just get yourself back together. The same thing with,
I appreciate that.
well,
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, like, whew, I was going through a lot of stuff. I was in my dark place, and I wasn't finna bring nobody in it. But you know how I do. I isolated myself. Like, I mean, that's what I know how to do. So that's why I isolated myself. Because it ain't that I know this person care. Because my brothers, sisters, my wife, and all. Yeah, I know y'all care, but it's just what I have to do. Like, okay, I got to get to a point to, okay, if I'm alone, what will I do? Not saying, you know what I'm saying. You don't want to mess up nobody else because you already feel like a burden on them. But I still had to get to a place where to put in my mind, like, okay, I believe okay, okay, I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna do that there. That's something I have to do. Like, can't nobody help me with that but God. So my thing is, anything I went through, it could have been worse. So that's why I don't complain.
uh, yeah, I don't complain either. I think I struggle, my struggle right now with,
Food.
uh, no, I think it's, I'm in a, I'm in a better mental place now.
Hmm.
Now that my wife and I have had conversations, my daughter and I have our understanding and we have our boundaries set. But right now, I'm in a struggle with really forgiving myself for even allowing that to be that way. I pride myself on always having a plan. It's like I'm an
Hmm.
avid chess player, so I try to think. I
Hmm.
try to think 8, 9 moves ahead as much as I can in life and think about every single scenario that could possibly happen. Like, okay, well, if I move in this house, how can we benefit from it? Okay, well, we can do these businesses, but then what if your mom needs to move? So let's think about that. There's a way that they can come down here, they can stack their funds, and then they can buy their house, and that's how I can help them out. But what if they don't want to move down here? Well, I don't want to think about that because that particular choice don't look like it would benefit them. You know what I'm saying? Their lifestyle up there will be a lot less compared to how their lifestyle will be down here. So I try to think about things with moves ahead of time. And now that I'm in a place where I'm trying to forgive myself, it's like, okay, well, how can I forgive myself and move forward, even with whatever decisions that's made through within my family, um, is positive or negative. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now. Okay, well, Leroy, yeah, you and your daughter's relationship might be fractured right now, but work on building that. But forgive yourself now that you know that you apologized and you did a
Hmm.
180. But it's hard because it's sad knowing that I'm your father and I said those things and I did that. You know, I'm your husband and I said those things to you and I did that because I was callous and I didn't think I had no problems with me. But now that I know that had problems and going to continue to have those problems. I just have to make sure that I stay fast and focused on making sure that I don't repeat the things that I did in the past to cause those two individuals to feel that way, or even my friends and family. You know what I mean? I would hate to fracture the relationship that you and I have because of something I may have said or may have did. I would believe that our relationship is strong enough to be like, okay, well, Leroy, let me holler at you for a minute. This is what
Hmm.
you did, and I need for you to listen to what I'm saying. This is how important it is to me. And I'll be like, okay, well, cool. I heard you, and I will not do that again. You know, what I mean, I had a friend, right,
Yeah.
when I was in the military, and I don't think he mind. His name is called. I call him Smitty. So, if Smitty, if you get a chance to see this, unfortunately, I had to use you. Me and Smitty were close. I would probably consider him out of all of my friends. He was one of the close next to Paguada and Walters, right? And what happened was is I was down in the courtyard and I think he thought he heard me say something. You know what I mean? So he went back to his room, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" He was like, "Man, I don't you talking about?" I was like, "Bro, I don't. If I'm going to sell, if I have a problem with you, I'm going to talk to you about it." I was like, "That's what men do," and I've never ran from a problem. So I was like, "Well, listen, I'm going to talk to you about it." But here's what happened. He was so pissed. I was like, "Dog, when you're ready to talk about it, let me know. I'm going to be in the room." But I'm gonna let you know I wasn't saying nothing about you. You my dog, so I'm not gonna say anything. That if I can't bring it to you, there ain't no. I'm not gonna talk to other people about it. And that's just where I stood at. And then maybe like a couple of hours after he cooled down, he came to the room, and then we talked about it. I was like, well, I didn't say anything, but I don't believe that they were saying anything either because they can't talk about you around me because you my dog. So that's just the way I took it. But that same principle that I have in that relationship, I have in you and our relationship. Can't nobody say anything about you while I'm there. You know what I mean? And be like, "Yo, Chip is this and Chip is that." I was like, "No, Chip ain't none of those things." And I was like, "You need to check yourself. And if you have a problem, why don't you call him instead of talking about him?" You know what I mean? But that situation hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, we be on the Signal 27 show and we talk crap about each other and we joke on one another, but that's during the live stream. You can always go back and see that. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, that's like speaking to you.
Don't nobody know me personally,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
so I want like I don't I really don't get into that, like, because people gonna talk. It's all about your character, and that's what I'm basically trying to tell you. Like, you went through all them things to strengthen your character. If you look at it, God take you through um, problems, and that's when you get your biggest blessings out of them problems, because now you know, and you just think if God don't take you through nothing and everything just so kosher, kosher, kosher. When sun come up, then that person, just like the guy you were saying, the guy, no, you talking about me. He could have came to you as a real friend. Like, you can say, well, I talk to you when you calm down or whatever. No, as a real friend, why? The question is, why are you thinking like that? Why would you think I do that? And we supposed to be cool, close, or whatever. Why do you think that?
Yeah. I never thought of it like that.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's a
But I
lot
think
of.
all, but both of us were. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We are in our early 20s.
It don't matter how. It don't matter.
Wait,
Like,
so
if
you,
I call you my friend, you my homeboy or whatever, like, we close, all that negativity wouldn't be on your mind. It won't be, boy, I knew you were talking about me. No. Even if you was, I still wouldn't have handled it there. I'd be like, hey man, I heard, hey, you were talking about me. So what's this? Do you have something to say to me? Like, I come to you as a man, like, I still wanna handle it where everybody be ooh, ooh. I won't get nobody no hope in the situation. I start a situation. And it's true. You got to reposition yourself, because you not gonna have that many friends that you think that's your friends. That's is a fact. Like, you can call people friends, but that don't mean they're your friends. You know what I'm saying? Because
right?
ain't your friend gonna tell you the truth. And
And they're not
then,
going to be, and it's not going to be a problem for them to come to you,
exactly.
even when it's uh, personal. If you consider, like for an example, and I'll bring this up, if there's an issue between my wife and I, and you see it, you know what I mean? You'll be like, I'm not trying to get. You would say it just like this. I'm not trying to get between you and your wife's. I'm not trying to get between your marriage, but this is what I've seen, and maybe you should be aware of this. And I'm
Hmm.
cool with that. You know what I mean? I'm cool with you because you're
Yeah.
not, these are from, now, if you just some Joe Schmo and I don't know you, I don't know what your intentions are. But I
Yeah,
do
I
know
know.
that your intentions for me personally is not going to be in a bad place. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And the same thing with you. There was a situation where I came over to your house and you had some things that was not kosher to me, and I was like,
Hmm.
dog, you need to I'm like, no, dog. What is we doing here? You know what I mean? So, but what's funny is that I've been over your house multiple times, and the thing about it is that you heard me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that again. And I was like, well, cool. At least as my friend, you kind of take my words and you listen to what I'm saying. You're like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. You know what
You
I mean?
you you listen to people like
Who
with
matter? You know?
even with my wife, like when she says stuff and I sit back and observe and think it makes sense, guess what? I'm gonna adjust to it. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm be like, oh yeah, this I'm adjust to this here. That's just like with you. That's just like with sister. If it's something that make me a better person, I'm gonna receive that and I'm gonna adjust to it. I'm gonna reposition like, oh okay, let me add this here to
But see, I think that's where
it.
that's where my understanding ended at. I always was on the defensive. So if you brought something
Hmm.
to me, I felt like you was attacking me and how I am. And it's like, okay, well, it don't matter. There's nothing wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? So what is we having these conversations for? That's on you. That's your problem. You know what I mean? That's what. So I said this, and you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
I understand now that you know what
you
I'm
got to
saying.
be considerate.
Consider it, especially for those who are in close proximity to you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like one thing that you said to me, yeah, because I used to be like, man, fuck that. You're not about to say just do anything to me. You like, well, Leroy, you're gonna run up to the one person that's gonna try you with all of the shit that you say. And I was like, yeah, you might, but I would like to see that nigga. When that nigga show up, then we'll find out. That's the way it is. But and then you said something to me too. He was like, yeah, but we older and we don't fight no more.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Is a person if a person has a problem with you, chances are they just gonna kill you and keep it moving. And I that right there,
yeah,
and you said that to me like maybe like 5, 6 months ago.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, you right. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Like, look what you got to lose.
Right.
So now you got to think like, okay, this ain't about me. Now you know, like living ain't about you. It's about okay, the foundation. You the foundation. So you got to make better decisions on. It ain't just for you. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's for your wife and for your family. Like, okay, let's make a better decision.
Yeah, just make it home. That's it.
Exactly.
You know, I think what was it? I was we was in this is before you and I met. I was in what is it, Savannah, Georgia, and a group of us Marines. We went to a club and a little scrappy song came on in the song and the Marines that was in there, we not at our duty station, right? We at this club and we about 9 deep, but we not in our town. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So these dudes was in there and they was really like mosh pitting it, you know. And three Marines jumped in there, and another Marine jumped in there and was like, "Dog, listen, don't do that because they don't know you and you don't know them." And the
Hmm.
dude was like, "Man, whatever, man. I'm about to go out here and have a good time." Well, we leave out and two or three of them in there stayed in there, and next thing you know, a brawl happened, and we are in there now. We got to fight, and I'm serious. It's like, oh, damn, why y'all? You know what I'm saying? So you got people from First Battalion in there. And we got to run in there, and we in there fighting and everything, man. I just after that situation, that was one of many situations where fights broke out in Savannah because of Marines just trying to have fun. But dude, you're not in your area. You don't know these people
Yeah.
that you bumping into. You know what I mean? And these are people that's ready to fight, ready to shoot you and kill you. They don't care that you're a
Exactly. I
Marine.
don't care what you're in the Marines or boxer or whatever. Like, you got to be aware of your surroundings. Like, you can't go in nobody. Oh, I'm just do this here because hey, I'm in the Marines. I'm in the Army. I'm in the Navy. No, it
No,
don't work like that. Because
no,
you think these people scared of you? Nah.
no. You watch all them UFC people that be on there, and some of them be prior military. Them same military niggas get knocked out.
Out.
I'm talking about cold. And I have seen. I've been in a few fights at clubs, and I seen where people they get hit so hard that they got to go to the hospital. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So, but now in my old, I know I don't heal as fast.
When I was when we was about 15, 16, um, we had an all out brawl. Like it was a bunch of like it was everywhere on Moncrief. Um, we saw one of our childhood friends get beat to death. Like just going to that funeral, like, dang, you never think about death when you young anyway.
Because you think you got
Yeah,
longevity and
yeah. Like
invincibility.
we were like, oh, they really beat him to death. Like that's all we can do is just look like, and then you see him in the casket, you be like, man, you know what I'm saying? And then that's back in the days when you just was fighting, wasn't no shooting or nothing, but you would be like, you probably get beat up at the most if you get beat up, and that be it. But to see him like, and I don't even think they meant to beat him to death, but it happened, and we were like, whoa, dog. So that's a different mind frame that you go to. You know what I'm saying? Because you like, oh shoot, you getting beat to death.
Yeah, I know my I I can I can't relate to somebody getting beat to death. I can relate to what pushed more anger in me. We was at an apartment complex, and this dude was messing with my sister. So in protection of my sister, I approached dude. Right, well, dude ended up getting somebody else, and then me and this other dude, we was like, it was always like an intimidation kind of thing. You know what I mean? Until one day me and him caught up with each other, and he got me for real. You know what I mean? But I'm always up for revenge. I had $12. I'm being real serious. Unfortunately, we end up moving 3 days before I was getting ready to do it. I stayed at the top part of the complex at Bellhaven, and he stayed at the bottom with him and his mother, right? I had already purchased the gas. I already purchased the gas. I purchased $5 worth of gas in a $2.50 gasoline container, and I was going to burn them out the entire apartment. You know what I'm saying? I
You
think
glad you didn't do it.
it's not the fact that I was glad I didn't have any more money to get back over there.
Ain't you glad you were broke then?
Yeah, because that was it. Honestly, that was it. And then I didn't see him again until a couple of days later, and he still tried to intimidate me at a bus stop. And it's like, dog, what is we doing? I was like, dog, I put my headphones on and I just got on the bus. I was like, I'm not about to do this here. You know what I mean? And the thing about it was is that where the bus stop was, it was so close to the street and it was high traffic. If we would have got into a fight there, it would have been in the street. One of us would have got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then things like that, I kind of, I guess my personality think back on it and be like, man, damn, I wish I really would have burnt them out their house and I wouldn't have to deal with them at this bus station. You know,
Yeah, well, you would have been.
true. But if we moved 3 days later, it was like, okay, well, dang, I got him,
You
burnt
can't.
him out his house, and now we moved 3 days later. That you can't, you know.
You can't escape.
That's
Like
a,
they ain't gonna
well,
mess with you no more.
yo, but that's one of many situations where okay, so I grew up in church, so I do believe in a deity, and the whole Jesus Christ thing and stuff had kind of worn off on me after a while. And but I do believe that there was some divine intervention in a lot of things because a similar situation came up again with a captain in the Marine Corps, and I found out where his kids went to school at, and I found out where he stayed at. Now, I'm just letting you know. I'm not gonna say his name, but if you get a chance to see this, you thank God because he was Samoan captain that I
A
I
man was
decided
evil.
no, here's what happened. Um, my car, the transmission went out, and I could not use my car. Right, that's one, and two, I had gotten so much trouble while I was on base that they kept putting me on like a restriction where I had to work, so I never had time to do what I planned on doing. But by that time, he had ended up leaving the battalion, second battalion at the time. He ended up leaving,
Mm,
and that was that. That was
yeah.
it. So I was like, "Yo, divine intervention kicked in for you too," because I was really, and then my mental state was shot. Then
I know,
I'm
right?
I'm being real serious. My mental
Yeah.
state was done. and I was going to watch you and your family come running out of a burning house, and I was going to enjoy every minute of it. But I thank God that
They put you
that
on the
they put
emoji.
me, yeah, they put me no, they put me on restriction and took my money away, so I couldn't pay for the
Mhm.
transmission to get fixed to get to your house while you was there.
Let me it's a story. It wasn't deep, but it don't have nothing. It do have something to do with me, but it don't have nothing to do with me. Um, I'm gonna tell you how me and Lamar met, which is Obi-Wan. So back in the days, they had a group, a rap group, and they were gonna sign for. I think they got $1 million deal, and the day before they were finna sign, one of the guys killed somebody. And Obi Wan was telling me this story, right? So in my mind, I was like, "Hey, man, don't you wish you would have signed that deal?" And he said, "No." He said because I would have never met you. And that's one of the realest things I ever heard. Like I was in shock. I was like, "Ah, man, it ain't about the money. Like this genuinely like we all right. We straight." Like when he said no, because most people would have went for the money. Most people, and then the circumstances like if if the guy wouldn't have murdered the guy, me and Obi-Wan wouldn't have never met. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I just think God do stuff. I don't say it mysterious ways because God ain't nothing mysterious about God because I believe in God. So God do stuff like to get you like on track. Like me and Obi-Wan, we were doing a lot of these content before content
It
was
was
even much as
content.
this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was like, yeah, that's cool. But just think if like, just think if that guy would have went to anger management before all that there, how calm he could have been.
Right. Or at least I have to give credit where credit is due when it comes to the deity. I was telling the Fabler, I was like, I think I might need to kind of start searching for a higher power to kind of put myself back because you know me
Mhm.
and where I stand. It was like, oh yeah, you can believe in God and that Bible shit if you want to, but it's gonna be, it is what it is. I mean, the day that I'm able to walk on water the way He did, then that's when I'll start believing.
I'm gonna tell you what the Bible is. I'm gonna tell you what the Bible is. It's about a king in the kingdom, which is God is the kingdom, and Jesus is the. Of course, we know that's not his name, but that's what we're gonna call him anyway because that's what we know him as. But when he say the kings of kings, like if you study the Bible, you got to study the Bible from a king kingdom concept to understand it fully, and then you'll stop thinking like a lot of these churches they say, "Oh, we going up to heaven. We going." Why would God want us in heaven when He kicked Lucifer out? And I know a lot of people don't believe that, but this is what I believe. Okay, so He kicked them out, and even in the prayer, like Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed thy be the name, thy kingdom come on earth. Like Adam was he gave him dominion, right? So Adam fell. So Jesus redid all that to give us dominion on earth, and we scared like we so controllable. Like a lot of people like go for this here, this here, this here. Like I remember my aunt used to say, "You can't say amen to everything," and that's true. You can't touch and agree on everything, especially if you don't know it.
Right.
And it's just like the pastor saying it. Oh, oh yeah, he said it, so it's true. No, you got to find out for yourself.
Yeah, I think what is it? and I'll give credit where credit is due again. What is Bishop Davis? You know, I mean, I had a lot of church hurt coming before
Mm-hmm.
I even went to go see or visit Bishop Davis. And at the time, it was Faith Christian Center, but it's now Impact. I think I'm going to start going back, at least on my own,
Mm-hmm.
because I think in the beginning I was going okay. Well, let me rephrase that. In the beginning, I was going out of respect for the bishop because I was going through something and he gave me information that did not pertain to Bible. He specifically said that the Bible is a good book, but you're not going to find everything you need inside of the Bible. Like the Bible will give you money concepts, but they don't give you money concepts for today. You need to be able to do these things. And he gave us books to get us out of debt and things like that. And it took about 3, 4 years for us to get to a point to where we didn't have any debt. So out of respect, I was like, well, okay, shit. Well, I'm gonna go to your church. I'm gonna see what you're talking about and everything. But then I started looking at the whole um, prosperity preaching of reference to
Yeah, and
the
that's what I
money,
try and stay away from.
you know.
Like everybody,
And not saying that that's what he does, but it's just that I started seeing
it's a lot of it.
a lot of
Like,
that prosperity preaching and stuff like that. And
cause it's just think that's how TJ's get his congregation. Joe Osteen, like a lot of them, like they don't even teach about God. They just teach about your money. You know God gave me this here. You gonna have a financial blessing.
right. But then
Like
they get scared to tell you in the Bible how what they say the homosexual is not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
why not tell the people the truth? I can't. The Bible is not meant to be ran from. And then you got the three major religions, like you got the Torah and you got the Quran, and then you have the Bible, and they all speak in reference to certain things. But then it's like we become complacent. Yeah, I feel like the walk is not going to be a walk where you're going to be able to appease everybody. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But that's all right. That's all right. It's what you don't force your belief on nobody. Let help that person. If you feel like that, let help them and show them and tell them to read and what they get out of it
And love on them. That's
and
right.
love on them.
That's right.
Like if you gay, so what? That's what you got to deal with God, because that's wrong. Am I going to tell you it's wrong? No, I don't have to, because the law already is set by God. You know that's wrong. You can't produce. You can't reproduce. You when I don't have no problem with gay people because I treat them just like everybody else.
Facts. And he does.
Like I'm not finna switch out. No, I'm gonna show you. But if you ask me what do I believe in and the truth or whatever, I'm just gonna tell you. I'm not gonna run from. I'm not gonna like the Pope did. I'm not gonna rephrase what God say just to accommodate what you like. No, this if I'm going by the Bible, this is what I'm. Hey, they're against this here. But it isn't because
But
I
that's
can't.
a
I don't got no heaven or hell to put nobody in. First of all,
mhm.
and I'm not finna toot my nose up just because you that way. Am I gonna hang with you? No. I'm if you to a event or whatever. No, I'ma love on you.
Be cordial and everything and speak.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
ain't nothing wrong with that. But as men, we taught, oh boy, you can't, boy, why you ain't that? Hanging and respecting is two different things.
Facts.
I don't, I don't, I'm not finna say, oh yeah, like I said, I'm not finna say, oh yeah, this here right, you right. You know who am I to judge? No, I do make a judgment because I judge. I have to. You mean to tell me I'm wrong because I say, oh, I can't hang around you? Why am I hanging around that lifestyle? That's just like T. Jake's like, why'd you hang around Puffy? Because your standards should be higher than Puffy.
Facts. But I think his explanation for that is that Jesus didn't go to the churches. He hanged out in the slums with the slumlords. But I was like, but you know what Puffy stand for. That's
Exactly.
different than me hanging out at in the hood with people because that's where you see me at and that's who I'm trying to get saved. You are in the hood, but Puffy, you know what Puffy is doing, you
Yeah.
know?
And then
So
what Jesus did, Jesus talked about the kingdom. Everywhere he went, he talked about the kingdom. And Christianity is a religion. Because if you look at Christian in the Bible, it's only in the Bible 3 times, and two of them is bad. So you tell me, like, learn on your own. Like, stop, taking man word, because God law is already in place. If you put your hand in fire, I don't have to tell you you're gonna get burnt. You gonna know it. If you jump off of a building, oh, you think I got to tell you? Oh yeah, you gonna hit concrete. You might survive. No, you're not. That's just silly. Like there's a lot of thrill seeking games these people do. That, hey, they know the consequences. So you do know the consequences for whatever you do. It's consequences, and every opportunity is not no good opportunity. Believe that.
then when you speak in reference to consequences, your actions, even though you might change who you are, it still doesn't alleviate the consequences of your actions that you previously did. That's what I'm learning now.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's and this is just closing remarks. Um, Even though I might have became aware of the
Hmm.
things that I've done in the past, it doesn't change the consequences of those actions. Even though I did a 180,
Yeah.
it doesn't change the fact that I still have to deal with those consequences. So this is for anybody who's going through something. Um, you making the change to better you.
Exactly.
And if the consequences are severe or not severe, or the people that you might have hurt decided that they will give you another chance or they won't give you another chance, just be aware that the changes that you made are to benefit you so that way
Yep.
you can become a better person. And this is just from me to you. I'm still in the midst of my change right now. So if you're out there and you get a chance to see this podcast and listen to the words that we have to say about what's going on in our lives, just be aware that one, you're not alone, but you can't avoid
Mm.
the consequences regardless. You're still going to have to walk through that storm until said consequences are over for the actions that you produced, because you put them out there. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's kind of like, and I just use this as an example, right? Um, you spoke about Jesus, right? And
Yeah.
Jesus did what he had to do, knowing what the consequences were going to be. He had a choice to either, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and continue to do this, or I can renounce it and be like, yeah, whatever. You're not about to stab me in my ribs. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But he knew that if I continue doing this, this is what my consequences are going to be. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Sometimes you might not know what your consequences is going to be until it's too late. But still, at the end of the day, make sure that you make a change to benefit and better you. So that's all that I have to say. Any closing remarks with you, Chip?
Um, I'm a piggyback of son you said. Like, it is true. Like, you don't have to go through stuff alone. It ain't nothing like going through something with people that you can trust and people who hold you accountability for that. And the whole thing is to becoming a better person, becoming a better human. So at the end of the day, don't give up. At least try. That's all you can do. Like, only you can change you, and only your character is your character. So do what you need to do, but get yourself in a better place. Bring peace with you, not in the home, but you bring peace with you. Peace is not in the home unless you bring peace in the home with you. So stop thinking, oh, if I go home, it'll be peace. No, it don't be like that all the time. You have to be the peace. So just know you're not alone with whatever you're dealing with. Whether it's stroke, whether it's anger management, whether it's grief, like it's a community out there for everything you go through. And stay blessed.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the Anger Management Podcast. This is episode number 3 with my brother, Big Chip. I am the last Leroy. I do want to let you all know December 5th, you come across this will be uploaded probably within the next hour. December 5th, please make sure that you get your tickets at the Comedy Zone. We do have the Anger Management Comedy Show, which will be hosted by none other than Big Chip. It will have my sister, Jen Weeks, and Sounds of Daryl will be having some song selections on that day. And then, of course, I'll be recording and taping my hour special there. Just make sure that you come through and get your tickets. If you are also helped by the messages that are done for this podcast, send me a message or a text. Let me know everything is okay because we do care about your well being because we care about our well being, you know? And I feel like, just like Chip said, you are not alone. There are individuals who are going through, are in the midst of going through their trials and tribulations right now. But sometimes you just need somebody to talk to that you can trust. So if you do have if you need some help or whatnot, just email me. My email address is the last Leroy at gmail.com. Email me. I'll email you back. If you want me to talk to you, I'll give you a call and talk to you and put some words of wisdom to you. You know what I mean? I'll let you know about what's going on with me so that way we can relate because it takes the edge off when you know that you're
Mm,
not going through it alone. All right?
yeah.
All right, y'all. So that concludes episode number 3. Thank you all for tuning into the Anger Management Podcast. Y'all have a good day.